Welcome to But Am I Watching? And what are we watching? The Devil Wears Prada 2. The sequel, which they really beat over our heads 20 years, 20 years, 20 years, which was unnecessary. I didn't need to hear that many times that it's been 20 years. Okay? And
Do you feel
everybody here
old?
has a new face. No, but it's just one of those things that, like, they're really trying to stress it. And I go, okay, well, all of you have had new faces. So, like, it doesn't look necessarily like 20 years has passed.
Everybody looks pretty much the same to me.
Well, that's the faces that they got.
But I'm saying
Very good
that
faces.
might be why they need to say it's been 20 years because everybody pretty much looks the same.
I was thinking the opposite, that they were like, please excuse us, our absolute decrepit old asses. It's been 20 years. And I was like, okay, that's irrelevant. Okay, that makes more sense.
The only
to me.
thing that, like, I think Emily Blunt looks just like a little bit more mature, but also I never know who she is when I see her anyway. Beautiful woman, just don't know who she is.
Yep.
But like Stanley Tucci, he has like a little old man growl now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
His voice is different. The way that he speaks is different. So that's the only thing, just seeing the movies back to back like this. But other than that, everybody pretty much looks the same.
It was a fun thing to watch back to back because, like, they literally open with the same scene of her brushing her teeth. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know that I would have entirely known that if I hadn't just watched it. So I would recommend watching it that way. And
there's a lot of little things that if it has been 20 years since you watched, I don't think you'll necessarily pick up on. But they really did this in a fun way. Yeah.
And you also don't need to have watched the first one quickly. I think it just adds, like you said, Easter eggs. There's little things that are in there that are for that, but it's not like, I didn't find it like one of those over-the-top corny, like, fan montage. We're just doing this at like a convention for our deepest loyalists, lovers of Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
It wasn't as much fan service.
But I loved it.
I really enjoyed it. I have some notes, but they're not notes. They're notes that I have with like 50% of sequels in general. And like, it's not like specific to this movie at all. I still think I think like all the parts that count. So like the writing was like fantastic. But one of the only other things is something that like they did in the first one, but for some reason doing it in the second one, because I was not of the age watching it. Like we said, like we were young when we watched it the first time. So I didn't necessarily notice all of those things. But now that I'm older and I noticed it, they did the same thing in the second one. And I was like, oh, now that I'm fully conscious as like an adult, like it just feels a little more heavy-handed. But that's it. But I really liked it.
Yeah. I saw this on Monday. The theater was pretty packed. Because I saw Michael first, and then I saw this. And it was a lot of people, and it was in the bigger theater too. So it was a lot of people in there. You can tell most people were big fans just because of their reactions to things, especially this man that was there. And I was like, calm down. Like,
I love a movie patron like that.
And then I don't know what was happening. There was a seat between us, but the people to the left of me, I go to a place where they basically have like pods that you sit in, so you can't see anybody. But the people that were on the other side from me were doing a lot of talking, just like chatter talking, not movie talking. It's like, y'all could have taken this outside. There are comfortable couches out there. But they had a special where you got like this really decadent chocolate cake and champagne to watch with the movie too.
Oh, that's fun.
So it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah. When we went to our favorite theater, and because it's like an old school movie theater, because I love the fancy movie theaters. Like, by the way, I have to have recline seats regardless. But like when people talk about being like, oh my God, the Grove is like the pinnacle, I go, no, I don't want valet, and I don't want a like entire full service bar at my.
I'm fine with that.
At my movie theater. Like that's not what makes it for me.
Oh
like,
yes. No.
So I'm
it's
like
the seats and the food for me. And there's so many much fancier than the Grove.
Yeah. So I specifically like this one because of the lie back seats. The legs extend farther up, not just like out and down.
Yep.
But when we got there, we went Sunday night at like 9:30 or whatever, and it was packed. And Mats was like, "Oh my God!" And I go, I'm going to bet you this is for Michael. Like, and he was like, what do you mean? And then as soon as people started walking out of the theater, I'm just seeing a bunch of women in their 40s and 50s. And I was like, this is, they're not, because he was like, it wasn't this packed, and got concerned because he thought it was going to be like absolutely full. But it was like pleasantly full for Devil Wears Prada, which made me happy because, media is dying and we need to support our theaters. So I would say that this is without a doubt one to watch in theaters as well. Like it's not a streaming movie.
Yeah. Like I said, I had a good ass time. So as Meghan said, it's been 20 years.
It's been 20 years.
We don't need to recap the first movie, but listen to last week. But Andy gets fired from Runway. Now she's working as a journalist, and we open up with her brushing her teeth, as you said, and then she's at an awards banquet for journalists where she wins an award but can't really celebrate it because right before she goes up, she learns that her whole newsroom has been fired. Yep. Which I like the way that they made everything that's happening in this is very relevant to the time. So I thought that they aged the movie great in this way. And so she gets up and of course, she's like, I can't celebrate winning because we all just lost our jobs. So she's going on about, like, her acceptance speech is about how we need journalists. We need respectable journalists. Meanwhile, Miranda is under fire for failing to vet a puff piece about a brand that uses sweatshop labor. So to improve the magazine's respectability, Irv Ravitz, the owner of Runway's parent company, Elias Clark, and Miranda's boss, hires Andy as the features editor. And so Andy comes in very excited. She's like,
the gang's all back together.
And they're like looking, it's her and Nigel in Miranda's office. She comes in hot. Andy comes in hot, and they're both basically like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Why are you here? And she explains, and then she's also like, okay, I realized I came in hot because I thought you requested me to be here.
I did like how Nigel goes, oh, hey, Six.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey. I was like, okay, oh my God. But she goes, it's one of the Emilys.
Who
is this?
The Emilys. Ugh. So Miranda also gives her doesn't know that Andy has been hired for this role. And it's like, oh, you got to go fire the person that's in your current role. That's your first job.
Which felt very accurate for the character. And that's my favorite. Well, I was saying one of my favorite parts about Miranda is like, Miranda's still Miranda, but she is just now held by the shackles of an HR department that apparently has been recently hired.
Yes.
Which I thought was so funny because, like, she's deeply resistant. So now Miranda always knew what she was saying was offensive, but now she says it and, like, is like, I acknowledge that was offensive, as if that is, like, the problem. And it's like, no, you just, like, can't say it. And she goes, oh my God. And I was like, I have to say that was one of she was one of my favorite. I mean, she's always one of my favorite characters, but I love what they did with Miranda. Like, they didn't, like, shift her to be so politically correct or, like, she's exactly what Miranda Priestley would be like in 2026.
Yep. She felt a little harder, though. Like, she was just run down and tired of all the bullshit that she has to deal with, especially with the sweatshop stuff. She's like, how the hell was I supposed to know? But that's your job to know. But I did like how things have been updated. Nigel also explains that nobody reads Runway anymore. The print edition, everything's online. And so they're being forced to embrace the clickbait and cheaply made short form content. And this shift is necessary to maintain profit and preserve the relationships with the advertisers.
And Andy's like shocked because Miranda's essentially like rolling over for that, and like that she's not fighting this. And Andy's still Andy. Andy still has her first movie gusto with her trust fund to fall back on, of being like, stick it to the man or anything, and is shocked that Miranda is like not fighting back to this and is not just like sticking to her guns and remaining with this journalistic integrity or whatever. But that is because, unlike Andy, Miranda is actually in the present moment.
Yeah. she still has to delete her friend from the first movie. And I'm like, I'm great.
Melisa?
They patched things up. But the fact that we're in her house,
Melissa,
it confirmed
out loud,
everything that we said.
Smacked Mods, and he goes, "Oh my god!" Because of all of her friends, this is the one that kills me the most because we know the most about her, and we know that she has the fakest job of all of them. Yeah. She works in a gallery, and I say this with love. I have a friend who works in a gallery, and the entire time she worked in the gallery until like, I want to say she worked there like for 7 years, and she still had to have a job as a hostess at a pizza restaurant until she was able to get like whatever position, and then still does other stuff on the side. But like that is like not like a like, oh, like the gallery. Like I could not fathom this. And she has this most insane, gorgeous, luxury fucking apartment. And then, by the way, later on in the movie, Andy gives her Valentino and she's geeking. And I go, oh my God, what are you going to put it in? Which walk-in closet of yours in this palatial penthouse are you going to put it in? Or she brought her daughter babushka dolls and she goes, oh, you don't have to spoil her like this. And I go, oh, like, oh, for sure. I'm sorry. I forgot. She's living in squalor. Right. She's not used to these nice look how many toys there are. There's 6 that fit in one. Where will she fit it in her tiny, tiny studio apartment? There's no room for it. We can't even hear the kid or see the kid for 90% of the time because it's so fucking big. Right. She can run around wherever. And I was
happy that they did this though, but they acknowledged it, that she has so much money. She also, and I know that she, again, works in a gallery, but the art that's in her house, I'm sure costs more than the actual house too. It's just beautiful.
No, and then she's like, Andy, you need to get into real estate. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But it was so funny to me because like, she's still, and this is how you know Andy is not like, okay, cut the bullshit. Andy's very much being like, you know, you're poor, I'm poor, we're all barely scraping by. And I'm like, well, you've remained consistent. Everybody has remained consistent, which I love to see. That made me laugh. So of all the friends to keep, I was like, of course, you had to keep rich gallery. Like, for sure. It made me laugh so fucking hard.
But I absolutely love that they did this.
No, I loved it. If they made her in like a tiny studio apartment, I'd be like, well, I'm just working at a gallery. I'd be like, no. What happened? Like, are you going to explain how you had to like file for bankruptcy at like 23 or something? Because like, this is not adding up.
The advertisers are pulling out, but they are like, we have a key advertiser that needs to, if they're in the issue, then we'll be able to, still make money.
Yeah, so, it's like 40% or 60% of all of our advertising budget comes from, drumroll please, Dior. So accompany us to Dior to have a meeting. And lo and behold, who is conducting this meeting from the Dior side? Our favorite redhead, Emily.
Emily comes out with her 2 people flanking as Miranda is with her 2 people flanking, Andy and Nigel. And I love this scene, and Emily's like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh my God. And then they're trying to have the meeting. She goes, I'm sorry, no, I'm not over this. What?
Yeah.
Like, huh? Like, okay. Kept your eyebrows. Like, she just, similar to Meryl, like, she slipped, everybody does, but like slipped right back into that character. That this did feel exactly like Emily grown up. And when Andy asks her, like, oh, like, so what have you been up to? And she was like, oh, divorced, married a narcissist, 2 kids, they're very cute, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is where Emily would be. Emily would be divorced, and she would have 2 very cute kids.
Yeah. That she loves very dearly. And you can tell that she's a great mother to them, but also she's still Emily.
Yep.
And she has more power now, too.
Exactly. And any executive assistant can run a household. Like, they could run 6 households at a time. Like, yeah, like that shit, like, yeah, you're ready to be a mom. And I bet you're kick-ass at it, too.
And so Emily is using this controversy that Runway is going through as her own way to secure her own profile. She's like, you guys are going to interview me. So Miranda assigns Emily's piece to Andy. And during the interview, Emily and Andy argue about modern fashion. And their argument centers on how fashion raises prices and shuts out the middle-class consumers. But that's why there's tiers to these things,
Well, and Andy is doing what she does best, which is living in a crystal clear house made of glass and then making these statements while going, love my Margiela blazer? Yeah, thrifted. And I'm like, Andy, you have the liberal school mindset with the silver spoon in your mouth, and you go, but I don't want to take it out. I'll just try and like hide it a little bit. But it's like, no, like, come on. We know how this works. We know what this is. And, like, also, ultimately, what we discover when she has her struggle with this of trying to, she still has this concept, the very, like, narrow worldview of what journalism is and, like, what is, high class journalism, what is things that move the needle and all of this, what is frivolous and what is not, what is important and what is not, and that really wanting to stick to those moral grounds versus participating in the system at hand. And that's what she has from the beginning of it too, that it's like, hey, you took this job. This is what you do for a job. And so her to, judge Emily for working on developing new retail locations for luxury handbags and like luxury designers, then it's like, okay, but you work at a fashion magazine. Like, you can't claim to be better at it, better than the fashion magazine while being at the fashion magazine.
Right.
Like, you're there. Like, you are it. You're not better than this. You're not too good for this because you're here. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you wouldn't be.
Right. And she has, like we're saying, everybody is exactly who they are. And I also like that, like, she got the job that we were talking about in the last movie. Like, this is the job that she should have been working towards anyway, but she got it. Like, she could have stayed at Runway and been working there, but I'm glad it happened and that she could be outside of it and grow where she is and then come back and essentially save it.
Like, sure, she has her ideal version of journalism, but like, she just got fired. Like, that place, it's not existing anymore.
Right.
And so this idea of like, unless it can be done in the way that I want, that I think is like pure and good and perfect, then like everything else is not worth it. And I'm like, that's how things die. Like, that's how things like absolutely die and go extinct forever, not coming back, because like we pick and choose what we view as valuable in this thing that is an entire ecosystem that's all related to it.
Exactly.
So like, I've always felt the same way. And I had a conversation with someone where this was like years ago, and I had asked them what they did, and they were a journalist. And I was like, oh, where do you work? And they were like hesitant to say, but they were like BuzzFeed News. And I was like, I love BuzzFeed News. I think like, it's like, and they were like, whoa, thanks. Like, I have to, you just gave me this, because I was like, I think it's amazing how they are so accessible for news for people. And like, so many people are getting more interested in topics and like using the listicle form that they use for like quizzes and fun things like that to like have real life issues and like, the ability to like break down doors and like have all of this investigative things. I'm like, I think it's amazing. And they were like, whoa, that's usually a speech I have to give when people are like, you went to school for, this is what you do. And I was like, no, this is great. But like, if we shit on that, it's all connected.
Yeah, I absolutely loved when it existed in the way that it used to exist. I loved BuzzFeed News. Like, I found that, one, they gave a lot of more information than some of the other news sources. They weren't everything was truthful, but it wasn't being filtered through a bigger conglomerate to then, this is what we want to say. But, then it got swooped up in the same way that they all do. And that's what happens, and you have to be true to, and that's essentially what is happening with Andy. Like, those things happen, but you have to be true to what you are, but you still have to play the game a little bit.
We live in a society. You have to participate in this, and like, the idea that it's like something is only good if it's like a Murdoch-owned conglomerate. I'm like, that in itself, like the ethics and the ties and all of those things there, that like, sometimes the things that you view as like vapid or silly or stupid, like those things can exist because they're digestible, and then you have a broader scale to do bigger and better things with it, because you can keep the ship afloat, and like, then you can do stuff with that. And so Andy really takes a radical honesty to letter to the readers to apologize and take accountability for the sweatshop piece and all of their role in all of it. And because of that, it was received incredibly well. And because of that, she, as she always is expecting a little gold star. She's expecting praise for this work. She's expecting like, wow, you're so good. You've done all of this kind of stuff. This is amazing. When in reality, like, she did her job. That's what she's supposed to do. And like, now it's time to keep going with that, now that you have some more eyes on you, or you're in the favorable light of some people.
But also, like, I don't think she was using, because her clip of her yelling went viral. I don't think she was using her viral moment well enough, because they said, okay, like, this got clicks, but it didn't get the amount of clicks that some other, I forgot what they say, but it doesn't get they said someone, but they're like, it doesn't get the clicks that this person's picture of them gets, but she's still learning. We've also are introduced to the assistants too. So we've got one of our faves, Simone Ashley, is playing Miranda's first assistant, Amari. And stunning as always.
She is almost hard to look at. She's so beautiful.
There's a scene where they're standing in Andy's office.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it is Miranda, Nigel are standing there, and Simone is just in the background. But I could not look at her.
I don't know what they said in that scene. Goo goo gaga. Like, she is, it's like a spotlight falls on her. Like, she is so beautiful, and she's so quick, and like I love her performance in this. And like, one of my biggest critiques of this is that I wish there was more of her. And like, she's in the whole movie, but like, I just wish there was more. Because I love her.
And then we've got Caleb Herron, who's playing Charlie, who's the second assistant, and then also Helen J. Shin, who's playing Jen, who is Andy's assistant. Yep.
I loved her outfit, her intro outfit. I was like, this is because Andy was fresh out of college, like Cornell or whatever she was in 2006. This is a fresh out of wherever she went to college. Northwestern. Maybe, then I think Jen was in Cornell, whatever it was. Or no, that was the person she fired.
The person that got fired.
Wherever she went to school, this is you straight out of college. This is the exact age. This is what you're wearing. You're like, I'm being an office siren, but like, dial back the siren.
And also, nobody wanted her job. So like, she is in the same sense that Andy, wanted to be a journalist. This is the assistant that she got because this person is also eager to do the same thing that Andy's doing.
Because she's an intern at the company as a whole, not Runway.
Yep.
And they needed someone on the desk, and she's the only one who interviewed for it. So Andy keeps writing articles. It's their minimal traction. She's still really going with like her journalist side and things that she thinks are really important. So like things about beauty tied to the environment. Essentially, she's being like a buzzkill to like the readers. There's a lot of like guilt and buzzkilling energy, and like the vibes are not necessarily fun and light and high. And she's the features editor, so like the features, you can have a hard-hitting piece of journalism all the time, but this is not the New Yorker. Like this is Runway. And so after all, it's not getting the numbers that she should be getting, and Miranda's not happy with it, and she knows Miranda's not happy with it, and she's like stressed about it. Miranda's told her like, I know you're gonna fail. Like, I know you're gonna fail. I'm just waiting till you fail. Until she finds out that the one elusive person that Miranda's never been able to get for an interview is Sasha Barnes. And that's like the number one who she wants. And it's like, oh my God, would kill for that.
Played by Melisa Liu.
Yep. And in a fit of pressure cooker stress, desperation, she blurts out to Miranda that she has a connection and she's working on getting that interview. And we see the twinkle in Miranda's eyes being like, are you lying? But also like, do it. That would be great. And of course, Andy has no connection to Sasha Barnes, no ability, nothing whatsoever. And so utilizing the help of one of her former newspaper colleagues who she has been able to hire at this job, which I was like, do better at your job. You've literally hired all of your friends who got laid off, like to be like, he's a full-time, you've hired him, but then you have other people, your other friends you've hired to like be like contributing at like feature writers constantly, like a steady gig, and you're like, I gotta stick to I gotta do all, and I'm like, you have people jobs, like this concept of it of like, I really care about this, but like at the end of the day, like I need to still perform in the way that I view myself as that kind of person.
And also one of her friends, speaking of her friends, works in book publishing. It's Rachel Bloom's character, I think, Talia. And she's like, why don't you write a book about Miranda, which, said that in the first movie. But like, why don't you write a book about Miranda? You can make like easily $100K. And so during all this, Andy is also putting together a book proposal as well.
And eventually, Andy's able, after calling a bajillion and one people, working her ass off, she gets the Sasha Barnes interview. And I love how they, like, because so it's not just written now. We've heard about, like, it's runway almost exclusively video footage now. But like they set up the shot like a Vogue interview, and I was like, wow, the thought put into that was so good. And I was surprised that they had Miranda conducting the specific interview, because like Anna Wintour that was not like her job, but it was like I could see that working so well in this fictional world, because Miranda she's so precise with her words that like it gives people the opportunity to talk in an interview and to like really reveal all of that. And like she's cold and she's tough in a way that like it doesn't feel like you're being pandered to, right, which like is exactly right for this character. And who the character of Sacha Barnes is essentially a mix of Melinda. She starts as being Mackenzie Scott, and then essentially ends up being Melinda Gates.
Yeah.
And I was telling Mods, I was like, no, just Mackenzie Scott. And I go, when's the last time you saw a picture of Mackenzie Scott? And he was like, a long time. I go, yeah. So that's how she starts in the movie. And then she becomes public facing, and then she becomes Melinda Gates.
Yes.
Like that's the whole arc of it. Played by Lucy Liu, who looks, I mean, I love her.
I love her. I want to see her on my screens more.
Yes. And also like she's one of those people that like this role wasn't like that made. It was plot wise, it's a big role, but like screen time wise, it's not. And Lucy Liu is such a big actress that like it's remarkable to me that I'm like, that is Sacha Barnes. Like within 3 words, I'm like, who's Lucy Liu? Like she was perfect casting for that.
And her ex-husband is also.
Oh God, I hate this man.
Her ex-husband is played by Justin Theroux. His name is Benji. After their divorce, he went through like a glow up, essentially. He still looks like a fucking mess. And I appreciate, because like looking at him here, and then I've also watched Running Point season 2 this week too. Also love. But
yeah, that's why I'm in a I hate Justin Theroux mood.
Yes. I hate him. Like the characters that he plays, I don't know anything about him personally, but the characters that he plays, I hate them. But just even the physicality differences between those 2 roles, like,
and they're both douches, but he plays them differently.
Yes, and even just like on Running Point, very like an attractive man. In this movie, not at all.
Was he wearing contacts in this movie?
I don't know. I didn't
there
notice.
Was something with his eyes that were like really scary to me that like were not his eyes in Running Point, and I was like, something is different with your like literal eyeballs, like not just the socket, like the eyeballs were different. And I don't know if he like put like a ton of Visine in them. It was like something that I was like, whoa. But yeah, he's playing this tech billionaire who was like, you know, he's like overweight, like not attractive, like loser guy, who then it's just like an Elon Musk mixed with that guy who's like trying to be young forever and
takes his child's blood. What a fucking
weirdo. Like that like weird guy. And so he's that, but he's also like a bum, like an idiot. Like he's not this like super genius kind of a thing. It's just like he's completely detached from like emotional reality and like compassion in a way that like everything is so analytical and so it's not even like black and white. It's so like money and not money that it's like it's just he's just like not he's not bright, and he's like they refer to him as like the ugly, like the guy who never had a girl look at him in school before ever, and like then got all his work done. Yeah, but it's like he still has like he's like not even like smart enough to have incel energy. He's just like, and also I'm sure he's just doing like a ton of ketamine. Like that's the vibe of the character.
And surprise, he is with Emily.
Yep. Big billionaire boy with Emily Blunt. Oh, and he's mixed with Bezos. Sorry. That's the other one. Elon Musk, Bezos, and that guy who's trying to stay young forever. So we see them together, and like Andy is stupid. I'm just going to say that. Like these moments where she's got such moral high ground, but then she'll like see them together and she goes, wow, that looks like really nice. He's buying her all this expensive stuff. And I go, Andy, I thought we don't like expensive stuff.
Right.
Andy, I thought we were too good for all of this. And I was like, oh my God, make up your fucking mind. Like choose a lane. But then also like the ethics of a billionaire, and then being like, well, this one seems cool. But then also like you're seeing how fucking weird him and Emily's relationship is. And she goes, la-di-da-da-da, I love it for you. And I'm like, ma'am, I could never be friends with you because I don't trust you, because you're just kind of like clap and move along vibe, which is like very different than her workplace persona, which is like make a stand.
Right.
And I'm like, huh?
And I think that's why Lily and her have remained friends, because Lily has to kind of like guide her along in the world.
No, I don't think she'd be anywhere without Lily, because like when Lily meets the guy when she's trying to get her in this fancy apartment,
even before that, Lily's like, you need to move. Your water is brown. Like, get out. You were making twice as much money as you were making before. I found a place. Go look in there.
And then she's flirting with the guy, and then she leaves, and then she goes, hey, so I saw you flirting with my friend. What's your deal? Do you have kids? What's your name? Divorced? Hi? Okay, can I get your card? Info? Thank you. I'll be circling back. And I was like, Andy, you wouldn't get anything done. No wonder you brought her a Versace purse and a babushka doll for her child who lives in squalor. Like, you would be nothing without her. And she keeps, also, she offers her a job at the gallery of copywriting. And I go, okay, so I have to assume, again, it's monopoly money. I don't know who the fuck is paying her to run this gallery, but she's basically saying, hey, let me give you some
money. Just because of how it's even set up in the first movie, I think this is like her family's gallery. Like,
well,
and now she inherits it. Because she's not really, like, she's not, in the first movie, she's not acting how a recent college graduate would be acting with money. Like, if she didn't have money. So well,
she's not acting like she has a boss.
Right. She definitely runs, like, even when she had the gallery open in the first movie, it wasn't like, I need to do this to impress my boss. It's like, this is my gallery opening. You guys need to come.
It wasn't even like, oh, I'm like a child prodigy artist. Yeah. No, I'm a child prodigy of finding other people's art and sourcing it and buying it and then selling it. So, like, it's not that, like, she's an artist and it's like, oh, that's how we explain all this away. Like, she's Banksy. That's how she has all this money. No, she just buys the Banksies and then sells them to other people. But, yeah, you're right. That's, like, she would not, without Lily, she can't get anything done. Lily's the only one who can call all the shots. Otherwise, Andy's just, like, happy to, like, let anyone do whatever. And then, like, this is my friend. I'm just, like, watching them blow their life up and make really bad decisions. Love it for you. If you're happy. I'm like, oh, my God, this is not what I need. This is not what I need at all.
So Irv, the head of Elias Clark, is about to retire, and he's going to name Miranda the head of content. And we get, a little bit later, we get a bit of a backstory of how, like, him and Miranda were essentially up for the same job, which I'm sure she probably was the better candidate for it. So then we do know that, like, when she started out, she was more focused on the journalist aspect of it and not the fashion aspect. And I read this in between the lines, and I don't know if this is what they were actually trying to give us, but, like, essentially she got put in charge of Vogue because she was the woman. Runway, because she was the woman.
And, like, she, unlike Andy, is like, wherever I go, I am the best. Right. And, like, no matter where you put me, I am the best at what I do. And, like, you should have put me here, should have put me higher. But wherever I go, my talent will be undeniable that you will need me. And
especially because of the time period that she would have been, like, that would have been the 80s, I think. So, like, she has really earned her space and where she needs to be.
Well, and also, like, that's why she demands this from the people who work for her. And, like, there is something to be said about, like, older white women in corporate who, like, are very, very, very tough on, like, other little white women who they see as themselves, of being like, I had to go through all of this, and, like, so I'm essentially holding on to this job with my fucking teeth here. And there's a competitive nature of that. But, like, I also need you to be so competitive. Like, they have to act. It's like, I mean, it's the adjacency to white supremacy of, like, white women, in order to succeed in this, they are just white men who happen to be women. So, like, we have to carry ourselves and perform like men. So we have to be cutthroat and do all of this. And, like, there is not that, like, sisterhood, girlhood support or anything like that. But, like, she doesn't want to foster that environment. And she wants everyone else to feel on the edge of their seat all the time, because that's the only way that she thinks that women can still have jobs. Like, she thinks that that's how you do this, and that's the only option. Otherwise, if you relax, if you're happy, if you're having fun for a second, a man is going to swoop in and steal this shit.
Yep. So they're going to make the announcement at Irv's 75th birthday party. But unfortunately, at the birthday party, Irv just keels over.
Yep. Right after we have the Rory McIlroy, which Mott said he thought was a great note, because someone like Irv, for his 75th birthday party, he would, in fact, ask them to invite his favorite famous golfer.
Yes.
And then He met his favorite golfer, and then he dies. And we meet his son, played by BJ Novak.
Yeah, I'm like, Mindy's man. I always forget his name. BJ Novak. Which, again, perfectly cast in this role.
Yep.
Then we're at the funeral, and it's become apparent that Miranda will not be getting that promotion. Jay, his son, lacks a sentimental attachment to fashion runway, and he brings in management consultants to recommend cost cuts. And Andy is surprised that Miranda tolerates this situation. And again, Andy just doesn't, she doesn't understand how power dynamics works. And I'm like, after 20 years since we were being reminded, how do you still not get it? But there are people that I know in real life that are the same way.
Well, and then she also is like shocked that she got fired from her, and I'm like, if you exist in this bubble of la la la, I don't participate in this society that I exist in, and then you get fired from your job that also exists in the society, and then you have to pay your rent within the society. Ooh, seems like maybe you should have been participating in that system, which maybe you should have been consciously participating when you were passively participating the whole time.
Yep.
Again, but like it's so on point for the character to be like, oh, well, I have these theoretical morals and obligations and all of this kind of stuff, but like there is no putting any of that into practice, which is just accurate.
Yep. So I like this, the meeting that was happening, because this whole time, like, Andy's assistant, it seems like that she is very naive, but she's actually like smarter than most. She might be smarter than Andy.
Might, yeah, 100% smarter than Andy. It was certainly smarter than Andy when Andy arrived, which is also annoying because she underestimates her. And I go, girl, didn't you yell at everyone for underestimating you? When, by the way, they accurately assessed that you were not trying very fucking hard. But like this, she is. But like she's just not like pacing back and forth of Miranda's office being like, gold sticker, like, did you tell me I did a good job? Like, she's just doing it because this is what she does.
Yes. And so her assistant's like, I'm gonna go get froyo, because like, what else? That's the best thing they have here in the cafeteria, where Miranda didn't even know this cafeteria existed before then.
We have a cafeteria?
And so when the assistant goes to get froyo, she actually drops her spoon but puts her phone underneath the table where this meeting is happening and records everything.
Legal? I don't know. Probably not in New York. But I think it's a good call.
Yeah. They were having the conversation in a public place.
That's true.
Anybody...
They might have been recording on their end.
Right. Anybody on sitting near could have heard the conversation.
No expectation of privacy.
Yeah.
And through that audio recording, Andy discovers that basically the suits, the guys from Meghan, I love that bit though that BJ Novak kept doing, like, these people, because it's all men and one woman. And he's like,
guys.
People,
Can't
people,
say guys.
not guys. People. And I was like, oh my God. It's like the overkill of being like, so like, I got this. I can stay hip with the times. Like, okay. That they are basically going to gut absolutely everything in Runway, and like everybody's losing their job. Like everything's like all the budgets are essentially being cut to like a non-performable amount, and so they can just close the magazine, but without immediately closing it as is. They're just like everybody. It is the step right before the absolute demise of everything.
Yep. And this is really what pushes Andy to start writing the proposal for the book too. Because she's like, I'm going to lose my job again. This keeps happening.
And she goes to Miranda and is like, we have to fix this, all of this. And Miranda was like, this does not concern you. This has nothing to do with you. Which, like, I get. Like, so sorry. Like, you just came in here after 20 fucking years, after, like, being, like, a complaining, like, I'm better than this job employee who, like, only was able to do good at the end. And then also, like, absolutely fucked me over. And, like, thank God she doesn't remember it. Because, like, if she did, I would be so much more mad if I was Miranda. But, like, then you come in here being like, we have to, like, you know, change everything. Like, don't follow for all of their demands. And they're like, bitch, you just got here.
Right.
Like, we're going to lose everything. I'm going to lose this magazine that I built for all of these years. And it's like, well, might as well go out with, like, guns, blade, all of that. Like, no, like, fuck off. I'm going to take what I have to do. I'm going to, like, accept the terms. I'm going to accept the deals of the advertisers or whatever, because, like, otherwise, like, this thing ceases to exist. And, like, that might not matter to you because you'll just find another job because this is another stepping stone. But, like, this is my fucking life.
Yep.
Like, I care about this. And so finally, it feels like that actually gets through to Andy.
Mm-hmm. And they're also preparing for Milan Fashion Week. And they're like, we need music because the music person dropped out. Or they can't afford
John
it. They can't
Legend.
afford it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And a suggestion is made. We don't know what the suggestion is, but a suggestion is made. And Miranda's like, absolutely not. Like, no, shuts it down. And then
He's
I
like,
was
I know
like,
you
because
hate
Miranda
her.
has a new man now too, who seems like he gets her. And I was like, is he gonna perform? Because he's a musician too.
It's his jazz quartet,
right? That's what I thought we were building to. There was also like a time there was in the movie. They go to the Hamptons and invited. Miranda's going to Miranda's house, and like people are invited, and we get another makeover from Nigel for Andy. She wants something that's very colorful and beautiful, and he's like, that's not for the Hamptons, but she ends up wearing it. She looks great. And other people there like have on colorful things too. He was just
Jenna Bush Hager.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying that like felt heavy-handed to me because like they did this like absolute slew of cameos in the first one, but like I was too young to know who the fuck those people were. But this one I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Left,
and there's a ton
right,
of them
center.
that were cut out too. Like,
yeah.
I know that I never know what she looks like. But was Sierra there? Did we see her? Because that's how her and Simone actually became friends, is from this movie. But I don't think we ever actually see her.
We might have, but again, she might have been on one of the carpets. Okay. But there were so many of those cameos that like I recognized. I was like, okay, a lot of people I recognize. There was a couple people I was surprised that weren't in it supermodel-wise. Like I didn't see either of the Hadids in it, which that surprised me. I think Vittoria, the one who Leonardo DiCaprio is dating, I think she was in it a bit, but Alex Constanzi wasn't in it. Like there was a couple people, like I thought like Hunter Schafer, like I thought there would be a little bit more of the model things, but it did feel like it was slightly less. I love that they didn't do anything like influencer in this.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you.
For Donatella Versace was there. Who was she having? Yep. Oh, because Emily was having. I'm looking at the cameos that they say were in the movie. It does say Sierra was there. Marc Jacobs was there. I did see him.
I love Marc Jacobs.
I do too. I like follow his personal account. He doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't post as much as he used to. But when he was with that guy, was like, were they married? I don't remember. But half his age, they were definitely engaged.
They were engaged. There was rings.
I don't remember if they got married, but he was posting all the time then.
I love Marc Jacobs enough to the point where we're watching the movie and Matt goes, oh, it's Marc Jacobs. Which he only knows because I love Marc Jacobs. And I was like, oh, thank God, I've taught you well.
Callum Harper, Ashley Graham, Amelia. Oh, I forgot. Chicken Shop.
Oh, yeah, Chicken Shop. That was funny.
Yeah. Winnie Harlow was there for...
We need to figure out, so the Karl Anthony Towns cameo, I don't remember who it is, but Anna Wintour, there is a fucking NBA player who she, like, loves, who she invites to everything. They sit front row. Like, every time he's there, like, she's like, picture, and it's, like, her being, like, 3 apples tall and, like, a fucking NBA player. But there is one who she specifically loves, and I don't think it's Karl Anthony Towns, but I think it's a reference to that.
It says she has befriended Russell Westbrook, and then also Amari Stoudemire and Dwayne Wade. But I think it's specifically Russell Westbrook that you're thinking of. John Baptiste, who was a friend at the Hamptons. La Roche was there. Naomi Campbell. Roy McIlroy. Well, we already talked about that. And then Kara Swisher as well. But yeah. Also, she's now dating that man. I didn't see the chemistry, but whatever.
Who the fuck is that man?
I've
never seen that man before in my life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the only man they cast, like, that ever auditioned in the whole movie.
Yeah, but, his name is Patrick Bramwell. I'm looking to see if I know him for anything. Nope, can't say that I've seen a single thing that he's been in. Maybe these are British shows. Or Australian, because he's Australian. Maybe these are Australian shows. Richard Bramwell. I'm sorry, not Richard. Patrick. I don't know where Richard from.
All men. I've told you, we need more names for men.
And this is also the second. We didn't review The Resident.
Patrick what?
Bramm.
Oh, okay.
This is the second thing that we've watched. We didn't watch The Resident, like, for But Am I Watching? But where they mention that Hugh Jackman is there, but we just never see him.
No, it was really fun. I have to say that was a very good line where he was like, I should go say hi. And she goes, do you know him? And he goes, no, but we're Australian. And like, you know, if you don't, like, it's kind of like a big faux pas. And she goes, okay. And he goes to do it. And I was like, honestly, I could see that being a faux pas if you're Australian.
So she's dating this man, but she's like bummed out about work stuff, and he's the most patient, understanding man that I've ever seen on screen, written specifically for her, because he has read things that she's written. He has essentially like looked her up just to figure out more information about her, understands her, and is even like, hey, let's just take a little break while you're dealing with this, and you know, if you want, you can call me. It wasn't like a, you know, I'll be here waiting. No, you call me if you want to reconnect later.
And like the greatest oversight though, wait, he's divorced, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Because I was gonna say I thought he was not for a second. I was like, no, this man has clearly been therapized because he was left because he was a bad partner.
Yeah.
And like he's very much 2.0. Like this is not the man his wife had, but they don't have kids. That was the other part. But like they do position him as like a job that Andy was like, okay, he's not one of the elites. He's a contractor. I go, Andy, he's a contractor for luxury apartment buildings. Like, he's not Bob the Builder.
She also shits on his work, and I'm like, don't you hate when people do that to you?
But also, bitch, you're living in his fucking work. Like, this whole thing of being like, oh, okay, like I could never date a real estate, I could never date a real estate guy. Like, I'm so above that. Okay, as you live on the 42nd floor, and then is like, oh, I could date him. He's a real blue collar. He's just like me. He's a contractor. And then being like, well, you just make these like buildings. And I'm like, Andy, you live in this building. And also like, he's exactly the right kind of guy for you because like you can tell yourself that he is like an everyday man, but like he's not. Because also like you don't want an everyday life. You want glamour and expensive and glitz and all that shit. Like you've never lived on a journalist salary, even with your brown water. It's a very large, very spacious bathroom despite having brown water. And also really what that brown water is, copper pipes. That's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what Lily essentially said, too. It's like, you just need it. Just the pipes are bad. So then Andy comes up with the plan that she's going to convince a wealthy patron to buy Runway from Jay. And again, you know how it works, but you try to pretend like you don't know how it works.
And like, I'm so sorry that you think the solution to all of this is like, let's just find an ethical billionaire to buy this and like keep it funded forever with like zero input, that like they'll just like let us do whatever and they'll give us free money because this ethical billionaire wants to save journalism. Like that'll be fine. But of course, she runs up short when coming up with the list of that in her head, and instead is like, wait, genius idea. Her and Emily get together, and she realizes who's the richest guy ever? Emily's boyfriend. So
again, using Emily, which she doesn't she tries to act like that's not what she's doing, but she's using Emily.
She was like, Emily used me. And I go, girl, you used Emily. And Emily said Uno reverse. And now you're shocked?
Right.
Like, okay. But so she like had seen that Emily's boyfriend, he like bought her a Tiffany necklace. And Nigel was like, oh, you should have seen like last week he bought her like a Monet or something. And she was like, whoa. And it was in that moment she goes, wow, I guess he really does have money. I go, oh, does he, Andy? Like, okay, we already fucking knew that. And so then her and Emily devise this plan together because she knows Emily still at the end of the day loves Runway. And we find out, well, no, we don't. But you know, Emily has not told her why she left Runway, but she still clearly like has a lot of love for Runway in the magazine. And again, it's supposed to be like Vogue. So like it's just a staple, and like you're a little girl and you're as a kid like seeing this. Like it's an institution. And so they come up with this massive plan for him to save this, and he's going to buy it, and it will be lovely, and Miranda can keep her job. Everyone's job are safe, and like Runway will live on. And then suddenly she decides like, oh no, we probably should tell Miranda.
Meanwhile, Miranda is like looking at them like, I know that you bitches are up to something.
Well, also like, I'm so confused how you have all this loyalty to Emily, who you don't work with her anymore. Like, you're going to essentially trust you're trusting your advertiser. Like, she works for Dior. Dior's the advertiser. To, like, let them know all of your issues and, like, help us fix this. It's just, like, it was so naively trusting to me that I'm like, oh, my God, you can't have a real job. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, this is, like, not, like, you're so stupid. Like, at least loop Nigel. Like, the idea that it's, like, we have to keep the secret from Miranda. Like, the idea that you have to, like, keep a massive secret to your boss about selling your boss's company and, like, you think that's going to save your job. Even if it saves Miranda's job, you should still be fired for it.
Right. And in the same, like you said, at least loop Nigel in. Like, that was when they ran into each other in the hotel lobby. I thought that was going to be the moment where she did them. But no. Once again.
Like, you just got here and you're going to convene with someone who no longer works there and then don't worry, we saved you. Fuck off.
Also, like, at some point, Andy asked him, like, man, after what she did to you, I'm surprised you stuck around. And he's like, which time? Again, because he knows how to play the game. He's like, I don't even remember what you're talking about specifically.
But also, like, he's still there. And Andy, you didn't have a job. So, like, this idea that, like, participating in the game and the system that is not going to make you're not going to end up where you want to be. Even if you don't participate in the system, you're not going to end up where you want to be.
Right.
Like, life does what ever the fuck it does. And so they finally they get the plan all good. They get the agreement from BJ Novak, whatever his name is. And then she feels all of this guilt, being like, we have to tell Miranda. We have to tell Miranda now. And so they go and they tell Miranda, exciting news, we saved the day. Like, we did it. We saved Runway. Like, you're welcome. Like, yay. And Miranda's like, what the fuck did you just do? Like, is so livid and so mad. And she's like, tell the truth. Something about it of like, no, you don't understand. Like, tell her what you want, what you're going to do. And she goes, yeah, tell her what you're going to do. And basically, essentially being
as
like,
Miranda's telling Emily to tell Andy what she's gonna do,
and Andy is telling Emily to tell Miranda what like all of this stuff is, and she's forgetting that Miranda didn't stop working at Runway when Andy did. Like, they have their own separate history. And finally, and like Emily turns to Andy and is like, he bought this for me because you love Runway. She goes, because I'm gonna be editor-in-chief. And she's like, wait, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh my God, color me shocked. Like, what the fuck do you mean that you're shocked that, like, this is what she wants to do now and, like, she wants this position? Yeah, she bought it so she could continue to scroll on her phone and, like, watch 72 Questions with Runway.
Right.
Like, she didn't buy it for her own entertainment. Like, it's not a circus. Like, it's a publication and a job that she left that she loved, and you thought that she wouldn't want a position there.
She didn't leave it either. And we find out that Miranda essentially pushed her out because she was like, she doesn't have what it takes to be here at Runway. And so she offered this job up to her on a silver platter, pretty much like, she's smart, like, she can do things, but she's not right for this industry.
And this was essentially Emily trying to prove her wrong, being like, now I'll do this. And she was like, you bought it? Like, that doesn't mean you can do it. And like, I stick by what I said. Like, you know, your talent, you can do all of these things, but like, you don't have it. You don't have what it takes to run the magazine. And, like, that seems to be an end-all, be-all for Emily, that she has to prove differently. And so in this moment, Andy realizes that she and Miranda have been fucked over by Emily, not the other. Her and Emily didn't save the day. So she's feeling ridden with guilt in her crazy expensive apartment. And then
also, before we leave Milan, we also see that the person that they wanted to bring on for the music was Lady Gaga. And I thought that was perfect.
Well, do you know why it's perfect?
Well, we had Vogue in my eyes, why this was perfect is because we had Vogue by Madonna was the main song in the first movie, and then they do play it in this movie too. And then we're cut to Lady Gaga, who Miranda has beef with.
There is a long-standing rumor after Gaga's 72 Questions that they were like, what is Gaga's beef with Vogue? Like, I don't know. It spurred after that people were convinced that she hated whoever was behind the camera interviewing her.
Well,
and
that guy's annoying. Sorry. Anyway.
But, no, he is. But people have always like, oh no, Gaga and Vogue, like they've got beef. Like there is beef there. And so to cast someone to play themselves, to then be like, play the most meta version of the internet thinks that you hate each other. And we're going to write a role where you're playing a version of yourself where that is true, that we hate each other. And I was like, oh my God, there could be 1 million people in the room and only one has to believe in you. And it was so, I was like, this is perfect. Like, it was so like meta referential. And I fucking loved it. And I thought, thank you, Stephanie. That was just, it was such a good fucking call. That it wasn't like a made-up pop star or whatever. Like, you picked a real pop star where there's rumors of real fucking beef, which was so funny.
See, I didn't know that. I thought it was just because, essentially, Lady Gaga is our, like, Madonna. Millennials Madonna to Gen X's is what Madonna was for them, even though she is a boomer. But anyway, I just thought it was just, like, the passing of the baton, But
it is too. That's why I think like they play the layers and levels in it that like you don't have to like know everything for it to work. It's just like it works on multiple levels, which I thought was like so smart and so good. And at the dinner before the runway show, Miranda talks to Benji and is like, essentially just like trying to like gauge what the deal is with what his plans for after he buys Runway are. And he is like, I mean, like, we don't need models, we don't need photographers. Like, AI is like the where the world's going. And it's just like, and Miranda's like, oh, awesome. Like, very cool. Like, basically being like, yeah, I'm buying this and like everything's going to become obsolete. And like, to be fair, it's not even going to be what Emily wanted at all. Like, he's just has absolute plans to wreck it and the demise of it. And he like doesn't give a shit about any of this. And it's just very fucked.
Yep.
But.
And in this moment, I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I loved every moment of it. I could see the wheels turning and I was like, ooh, yes. Yes, I love it because it's revenge on so many levels.
Well, I didn't know why I didn't like put the pieces together, but I like felt like I was a baby at the movie theater, just like completely smooth brained, like absolutely like, whoa, what's coming up? I had no idea, and like I loved it. Like I was so surprised, even at the very end. I was like, oh, and I was like, wow, Meghan, really? I was just cruising. I was on autopilot, but like I loved it. But now Miranda and Miranda was like, okay, well, we have to save this. We have to get to fucking work. And this is another moment, and it happens in the Hamptons before, where Andy gets the privilege of Miranda treating her like a peer. Not consistently, but like these glimpses of moments where like, we're a team, we are peers. And I think that another thing that drives me so crazy about Andy is like, she still can't separate her relationship from Miranda to Miranda's relationship with Emily. That like even in the first one, Andy was like the second tier, but then she got compliments and privileges that Emily never fucking did. And so like this whole thing of being like, you can complain when Miranda's being awful and all of that, but like you also have to acknowledge when you are getting special treatment, but then still having this like concept of this hierarchy that like, no, we're all the same, all of this kind of stuff that like she's just so hypocritical of it. But like, yeah, this is when they get to be essentially buddies, and they're like, we need to find someone to have a bigger offer than Benji. And it's like, how the fuck are we going to do this? And so Andy spends all day calling all these different people. It's very reminiscent of the first movie, just desperately trying to get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And we finally, night falls. It is a big Vogue runway show, which is also funny because Vogue now does this too. They do like their own runway show with a concert. And Andy arrives and tells Miranda like, it's done, but we gotta go. And she's like, I have to give the speech that Nigel wrote. And she's like, no, I did it. I fucking did it. So we have to go. Just have Nigel do it. He wrote it. And she was like, well, Nigel doesn't want to do that. And then like, I think if it was anyone else playing this, it would have felt like so stupid because like, of course, like you've never asked him what he wants to do, but like she played this in such like an earnest, like, she's oh my God, so good way. Like she was. That's why she shocked.
Is when you're talking about the epitome of actresses, you compare them to Meryl Streep because she says so much in her eyes. You don't have to give her a lot of dialogue.
And I also think the setting up to know how her and Elias kind of came up together through all of this showed that like the concept, like Nigel is like her it's like how babies when they're born like think they're a part of their mom. Like Nigel is her. She is Nigel. Like they are not separate people. Like for her, like he goes where she goes. She can't bear to ever be without him. And like in her mind, she never even thought to ask if that was what he wanted, because for her, like he's like breathing. Like it's like he is there. He's this consistent in her life. And because of that, she views them as the same brain, the same everything. He knows her better than anyone, but it's like, oh my God, if I didn't ask, I am still your boss. Like, you might have not told me these things. But the whole thing to Andy is being like, well, I've never asked him. She was like, but he would have told me. Like, she views him as like a, you know, there's every other employee, and like Nigel's not an employee. Nigel is Nigel. And so for her, she assumes like, no, if he wanted a public facing role, like he would have told me. And as she says it out loud, she goes, oh, he couldn't have told me.
Yeah,
like
he does. She doesn't realize their power dynamic in this.
Yeah, and like, oh, he is such a fantastic. He's so good at everything he does, not just because he's Nigel, but because he's an employee. Like that's like this is his job, and like, oh my God, like I never asked, and like you see the guilt on her face of like, I assumed because you didn't ask, it's because you didn't want it. So I didn't want to offer you something you didn't want because I want to make you feel uncomfortable. And there's all of these layers in this. And Andy's like, ask him to read the speech. And he initially is like, no. And like, they just have this like beautiful moment where she was like, you wrote this. Like, you can do this. You got this. And like, I loved that scene. I was like, damn, she's fucking good. So fucking good. And then they hop off into their car, rushing. And they drive all the way to a beautiful estate, a little familiar. And who hops out of that car? Sasha Barnes, a.k.a. Lucy Liu. So excited to be in business with you. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a great pick. And in my head, I was like, I wonder who they're going to meet.
They set it up at the beginning of the movie.
No,
but
they did. But I was like, I wonder who they're going to go meet. I wonder how many people.
It's fun because you and I, we're reading scripts all the time. So like, there's things that set up, and sometimes it's good for just to be surprised because like, very rarely can I escape into a movie. Like I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is bad ADR. This is bad whatever. But like I was just like fully vibing for it. And I loved that. And it was like, it was such a also another great of her basically being like, hey, like I love journalism. I love this. And also we didn't even say, but like in the initial interview, she gave him the exclusive that she was pregnant. Yes.
Like no,
getting married.
She'd gotten married.
Yeah.
That she not only had a boyfriend, but that she was engaged and getting married. And so you know, they delivered a very tasteful piece and all of this. And also, like, in this universe, Sasha Barnes would have also read Runway growing up. She would have also thought Miranda Priestley was, like, an icon. And, like, she would have gotten, you know, been in a presumably pretty fucking shitty marriage to this guy. And, like, of course, she's going to look up to, like, one of the most famous, successful women who has had multiple husbands and has, like, not let that define her as of being a wife. And they also never asked her once about Benji in the initial interview. And then she was like, I've noticed you've been asking about my ex-husband. And she was like, but he's your ex-husband. Like, why would I ask you about that? Like, you're not his wife. And like, you were never just his wife. Like, you're your own, like, you're Sasha Barnes. And it was like, wow, okay. And so they found the singular ethical billionaire because that person did not, lie, cheat, steal, siphon that money from communities in need. They got it because they were paid out from divorce from a horrible person. And so she gives them free reign, being like, I do what you want to do. I love the and she had mentioned earlier, like, I love the pieces that you write, like the journalistic forward stories. And she gives them like free reign, whatever you want to do, I'm happy for it. And it's essentially like a blank check forever. And then they are driving back in the car together. And then we have another speech that I was like, Meryl Streep, are you, is there going to be a point where like you stop getting good? Like you just like peak?
I don't know if you saw this interview, but she was talking, she basically has like, she doesn't realize how good she is. She was like, I was at this play and Laurie Metcalf was performing and I was like, whoa, like she is so good. Like that is art. This is like it's during this press tour. She's like, that is art. I'm like, Meryl Streep has imposter syndrome.
Wait, that's crazy. And Laurie Metcalf's like, oh my God. Like I just like, so she gives this speech in the car where she just starts by saying like, God, I love working. And I, like, almost cried at that point to, like, see, like, a woman who's, like, they may call me a bitch. I might have gotten divorced all these times. I might be cutthroat. Like, you should write your memoir. You should write your memoir. I did all those things. Include the nasty things I did.
Which Andy doesn't know that she knows that Andy has done this proposal, and she's been offered $300,000 to do this.
And she's like, no, I wouldn't include any of that. She goes, no, include the worst of it. Include all of that. Like, show people show people that I had to sacrifice being a present mom. Show that I had to sacrifice my relationships. Show that I had to sacrifice all of this. Show how cutthroat I was. Like, show all of that stuff because I did all of that. And like, and she like smiles to herself and she's like, I love working, don't you? And I was like, oh my God, just like see a woman talk about like, I love working. In an era of like, I can't believe we fought for the right to vote. I mean, I can't believe we fought for the right to work. We fought for the right to get paid for working.
Right.
We were always working.
Women have always worked.
And like this idea of like soft life and like, I just want like this, all of these kinds of things to like have a woman just be like, I love work. I love what I do. I love working. And like all of these traits and these qualities that people view as like awful that I do as a woman that makes me a bad person, makes a man a good businessman and like a successful person. And this idea that, like, that status quo exists and, like, it doesn't fucking matter because, like, the high that I get from having this job and having a job and working my ass off and that, like, what the payoff of that is, like, unparalleled. And I just thought it was, like, it was just, like, it was so beautiful and so well done. And then, of course, in typical Miranda fashion, Andy was like, oh, my God, yeah, we did this. And she was like, oh, I won't write the book. And she was like, okay. She goes, no, we've got runway to go. She goes, we? Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, maybe you'll stay for a while. And I was like, and there she's back. And like, I love that aspect of her that like, she goes, I'm sorry, I just gave you this entire speech about how like, I'm cool with all of the bridges I had to burn and all of this shit for this job. And you still think at the end of the day, like sunshine and rainbows, we're going to sit around in a circle. Also, like, we're in half of this bad position because of you and your shitty fucking judgment. Like, no, I'm not going to be blindly loyal to you. Like, no, we're not in this together. The only person I can trust is me and seemingly Nigel. So I loved that.
Right.
Loved that part.
And then also there was a moment where Miranda basically says something. I think it was in the Hamptons where she was like, I always knew that you would be great. And Andy was like, you didn't even remember me. She's like, I didn't. But then when I did, I remember. So she did make an impact and she legit did forget her, but then she remembered who she was.
Yep.
So also it is revealed that Andy also thinks that she just got this job because she was great. I love this reveal too.
Me too.
Where Nigel was like, no, I'm the one that made the call.
I'm the one who sent BJ Novak the post of you yelling about all of that. I'm the one who sent your other articles and like I'm the one who placed it in his head that it was his idea for this to happen. Like, how'd you think you got here? And she's like floored by this, but it's like, no, this is
how it works.
Yeah, and like this is how you show up for people, and this is like how you make it work.
Even in that moment, I was like, that letter of recommendation that she got at the end of the first movie, did Nigel actually write it?
That's a good call. Or did Emily write it?
True. Actually, that actually makes more sense.
Because it's like, I can't stand this motherfucking bitch, but she's really, you'd be an idiot not to hire her. Yep. Like, she's the fucking worst. She drives me crazy, but like,
because we also get the scene too where Emily and Andy have lunch. And
then Andy points out the carbs. And I go, okay, Andy, like, stop. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, let her eat the carbs. Like, it's literally like, she like turns it back and I'm like, oh my God, we're eating carbs? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was like the potatoes or fries were delivered to the table. And Andy was like, I think that you've got the wrong table. I was like, no. Yeah, so they're having lunch and it's revealed that Emily now works at Coach, and she says like it is Coach in the plane, which we did. There's a scene where because of the budget cuts, Miranda can't fly first class anymore, so she has to fly in Coach, and is also telling Amari like, I need my champagne, and the flight attendant's like, we don't do that back here. Sorry.
But I was shocked because I was like, she would have gone from flying private to first, but then I remembered Anna Wintour famously flies commercial.
Yes. And then, but also I was like, why wouldn't she, from her own money, just pay the difference to ride him first?
I know.
But I
And,
think
like,
they just wanted this funny moment. But there's in no world do I think she would have actually done this. She just would have paid.
Well, the optics of it.
Yes.
It would have made the brand look like broke and cheap and like in trouble. Like it's not like she doesn't need to fly her staff first class, but like she would fly first class.
Yes. So when they're having lunch, she's now working at Coach. Also, Emily reveals that she's like, well, I called you after you left. And Annie's like, oh, that pocket dial? And Emily goes, no, I thought we would be pals.
Like,
and
I thought we
that
could
was
be
really
friends.
sweet.
Me too. And like, because also like you have to like wonder if Emily, like she should have wondered, like, is Emily mad at me? Like, does she absolutely hate me? Like, did I really fuck her over that bad? Like, is she holding this grudge? But it's like, no, Emily would have done the same thing to the other person. Like that was actually, you gained her respect in that. And then you also like blew it all up at the end. But like, I felt bad. I was like, damn, Emily she wanted to be your friend. And it's like, oh no, Em, we can be friends now.
She wanted to hold her hand.
Okay.
And she's like, Emma was like, don't go that far. She's also
and
blonde now and no longer a redhead.
And no longer with Barnes, whatever his name is. Benji. And she was like, okay, so tell me what's wrong with my eyebrows? Like, what can I do with my eyebrows? Which I thought was funny. And she also, in one of the last outfits she wears a cut version into a vest of the cerulean sweater that she wears in it. Also to note that I haven't even looked this up, but I'm saying this with 100% confidence because I know faces. Miranda, they kept the same girls who played the twins as children, as older twins in the cameo.
Where did you see them?
At the Hamptons. In the line of Jenna Bush Hager's and Carl Anthony Towns.
Completely missed them.
No, there was 1,001 people. Of course you did. Like I blinked and I missed another cameo. Like there was a bajillion, but I was like, those are those same twins. Like those are the same faces that those kids had. Like I know for a fact, don't even have to look it up. I know those are the same fucking kids. Also because I've never seen them in anything else. Like they're not actors I recognize. And I'm like, they probably just did these two movies.
I was gonna ask you, and they're little shits, and they were good in the first movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, what did you think they were up to now? Because they're like your age, right? They would be your age, right? How old were you when this movie came out?
Came out 2006? 13?
Oh, so they're younger then. They're maybe a couple years younger.
Was I 13?
I don't know.
If I was born in 93? No.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I would think that one of them will have a Malia Obama. Like, she'll work on films. Like, she'll be doing something. Like, whether she's directing a Nike ad or something. I've got, like a feeling like Nancy Meyer's daughter. Like, one of those vibes. One of them would be.
Okay.
The other we'll probably have like a couple like failed swimsuit lines, and now maybe like copyright lawyer or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like one of them would be a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the one that was like instigating, telling her, "Come on upstairs." Yep. That one.
Yep. And Emily does it all the time.
Yeah. And then, I didn't know about the second, but I was like, one of them definitely, but the other one is different than what they're both successful, but in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But so after the movie, and even when it happened, when she revealed that she worked at Coach, Mott's like tapped me on the shoulder and with his eyes was like, and then we got out of the theater, he goes, "Oh my God, Coach, what a step down." And I was like, I have taught you so fucking well, because he was like, well, Coach like was never, and I go, no, Coach is an American brand, and like American brands can never be old fashion houses in that same way. Like they can have success or whatever, but like specifically in like leather goods, no, like it's got to be one of those old ones. But I died when he goes, "Oh my God, what a Coach, Emily," and I go, well, to be fair, Coach is having like a big moment right now. So it was like she essentially went down an entire tier, but is the top of the bottom tier. And he was like, wow. So I thought that was like very well thought out, like that specific call out for where she is at.
Yeah. Agree.
But I really liked it. So my only notes that I wanted more Simone Ashley.
They are the twins. It's the same ones. You're right.
I knew it. Like I'm so fucking good with faces. Like I know a face.
I didn't even. I literally was looking for them the whole movie. Maybe I was eating my chocolate cake and looked down and missed it, but I was looking for them.
It was in the parade of cameos. So like there were so many. It's easy to miss. But I really wish there was more Simone Ashley, and this is what I was saying earlier of like, this is kind of 50%, this is my issue with 50% of sequels, is they take us to a new location. And like I find that oftentimes in sequels, they take us to a secondary location too early. And like instead of just establishing us where we are, I would like 75% of the movie to be there. I would have liked 75% of the movie to be at Runway, to be in that office and doing all of that.
I was surprised that we left Runway so quickly.
That was the other part that I wish we had, because like the parts like in the meeting where Miranda's like looking at one of the photo shoots and she goes, they're circling a methadone clinic in New Jersey. And someone goes, and she goes, what, methadone or New Jersey? Right. And I was like, I'm obsessed with this. There was like that dynamic and her being like something about committing suicide. She goes, she can't say that.
That's what I was going to say.
I didn't say I was going to kill. I said I was killing myself.
Right.
I can't even say that now? Oh my God. And I was like, I love that. Or the fact that she has to hang up her own coat. And it was like, oh, there was like some HR complaint. And it was like, oh my God, she's hanging up her own coat and her own purse and all of that. But like, I would have loved that because I also would have loved to have more Caleb. And then my only other thing was like the cameos felt so heavy-handed, but it's just because like I know all the references now and I just didn't know all the references in the first one. Like it's the same level, the same amount.
And I also think people were fighting to be in this one too. Like they wanted to be in it.
I gotta say though, do you remember while Lady Gaga is singing in her women's bodies are beautiful, as she's making the shape of an hourglass, do you remember seeing anybody with a body shape that even somewhat represented that Lady Gaga was singing?
No.
We were singing a body positivity anthem.
No.
And the whole time, we even talked about this in the last episode.
And even Miranda, while they're preparing for it, she's like, body negativity. Like they were preparing for it, but then we didn't really see it. I was looking for it, but I didn't see it.
No, I was actively looking for it too, and I was like, in the era of Ozempic, do you mean a size 0 versus a 00? Like we have body positivity here now, or do you mean, I'm so sorry, that you're just letting the assistants, the Jin have boobs, and you're also having Caleb there? Like literally, I was like. So, and when they were like, we want to make sure there's like more body diversity represented in this, I was like, okay, that doesn't really feel of the current time. Again, that feels more like 2016 to like 2019. But now we are in the emaciated era again. And so then watching that and seeing Lady Gaga being like, like hips and body, and we're just seeing stick thin models across the way, I go, okay, so maybe we should switch this on. Like, who were we talking about? Are you talking about like the Ashley Graham cameo? Like, I was waiting for Paloma, like crazy famous Paloma Estelar, but she's like one of the most famous models of all time. And I'm like, I was thinking she was going to close the show, and like that would have made sense because made sense regardless if they said they were doing a body positivity. Like she's one of the most famous. I think she's the highest paid model of last year or something. She's crazy famous. No, just the skinniest girls you've ever seen. And I was like, okay. So did we abandon that, or am I supposed to be looking at that and going, love that? That's way to show that body diversity.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything even slightly off the kilter. Nothing. I was like, all the same, for sure. She's making that figure and all the girls can just walk straight through without her hands ever touching it. I was like, okay, very odd. So I thought that was a little weird that we stressed that in the press tour and Miranda stressed that. And then we didn't participate in that whatsoever. And then my only other thing that I found funny, but like there's no way around, there's not really a way around it, but the whole thing was like, you know, whatever happened to journalism and like integrity and like all of these things that are so important, and we need to have this like standards and expectations for this art form. We can't just like let it become to the mass like what it is. We can't just like commercialify it and all of that constantly. And I did find it a little bit funny because like they have also said in this movie that scene where Anne Hathaway is running through Venice or Milan, wherever, she's running through the big street. That's like a guerrilla shot because they didn't want to pay extras. And I was like, okay, so that's that. And also, besides from that Australian man, there's no casting. You didn't cast anyone in this. Everything is like offer only to all these things. Like there is you know, being like, we need to save people's jobs and all that. I was like, okay.
Even
I understand the moral of that, but like maybe we audition like a couple more. Maybe at bare minimum we pay some extra.
Even there's a scene where Miranda walks outside in Mulan and there's no one on the streets. Like, it's completely empty. And I'm like, y'all paid so much money for this to be empty. And I know you did. I know you paid a lot of money for this. And you wet down the pavement too.
Yeah, because you don't want to pay the extras.
Mm-hmm.
And like that to me, I was like, okay, like it felt a little, and at the same time though, like you can't make them, it is kind of like what Andy has to do. Like you are within these confines of this window and like you have to make the best of this. And like film is so hard to make and movies are so hard to make and all of this kind of stuff that like you make what you can make. But like it was a little bit funny to me that like the moral of the story of the movie seemed to like it seemed to be lost in translation to the actual production of the movie, especially when they talked about it in interviews. And I was like, you should not be telling this should not be. Yeah, because like that's really bad. Like that's really bad that they are like, we don't want to pay the poorest people in the industry, who get paid the least amount. We don't want to pay them anything. And I was like, okay, but that did make me laugh because, you know, it
speaks to the movie itself too. Like,
yes, it insists upon itself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's just, you know, full circle. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy. Oh, and the final shot of the movie is that Andy and Nigel and Miranda are somewhat equals because Miranda has the corner office and then Nigel has the middle office and Andy has the one next to his, but they all have windows and Andy didn't have a window the whole movie until that part. We zoom out and see it.
I loved it.
Anything else?
No, I liked the fashion in this.
No, I like yes, you have something else.
You're right. That's it. That's such California thing where you say no, but you mean yes. I liked the fashion in this a lot. And I loved Miranda's wig. Like I didn't know it could get better than the first one.
Yeah.
But like I loved this one. And I wish Andy had bangs still. That's it.
What do you rate this one?
I rate this one 10 methadone clinics in New Jersey. Which all, by the way, it's like such a smart like remark. Like it's like so bitchy and like fucked up to say, but like
it was
so
accurate.
Yeah, no, incredibly smart. Like incredibly smart. And Simone Ashley's cheekbones that could cut glass. And
if you haven't seen it yet, her and Sierra did a country version of, I think it was Goodies, but I think they were drunk at the Met Gala just recording themselves.
So cool.
It's on Simone's Instagram.
She's doing a new movie that like Mons and I were like, well, that's crazy. I bet it's based off, we keep having this moment where like, I bet it's based off a book, like some crazy weird book that everybody's loving. And I look it up. No, it's based off of a true story. And I said, actually, I don't think I want to watch this. Like now I'm a little scared, but it's about this woman who like wakes up in a coma, like out of a coma. And they're like, yeah, you were on a balcony and you fell. And she was like, where's my husband? And they're like, we're pretty sure he pushed you. And she goes, no, he would never do that. And he's like, I would never do that. Like, and he's in jail. And the whole family's like, no, I think he tried to kill you. And she's like, no. And like, she's refusing to believe it. And like, is essentially trying to help her husband like get out of prison while like not being able to remember anything. And I was like, damn, this seems like very heavy handed. Like, this is like, what, like, who wrote this? And then it was like, based on true story. And I said, oh, I don't know if I want to watch that. But she's got like stitches on her face, like not an ounce of makeup. And she's just like, and I was like, oh, of course, just looking absolutely stunning. So beautiful. But yeah, loved it. And I need to find out if Justin Theroux is wearing contacts, but I'll let you know next time.
I'll rate it $2 million, which I want Andy to take a portion of that and go buy a clue.
She doesn't even know where to shop for that, Melissa. Can she get that at the thrift store?
Lily will help her.
Fix her.
She's like, there's only so much I can do. All right. Well, next week I wanted to do Joyride.
Okay.
So that's what
I've always wanted to see that.
Me too. All right. Bye.
Bye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.